Welcome to Bible Bravery and Bullshit. Sorry, Mom, with Pastor Dan Miner, the unapologetic podcast for those tearing down old beliefs, choosing deconstruction, or those who have walked away from traditional faith. If you're questioning, evolving, or just plain fed up with the modern Christian machine, you're in the right place. Hey, you might laugh, cry, maybe get pissed off, or who knows, get inspired to keep up the good fight. You can follow me or Harvest Church on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook to get connected. The links are in the description of this podcast. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bible Bravery and Bullshit. And today I wanted to say something that I think the modern church desperately needs to hear. Jesus did not call us to protect the 99. Jesus called us to go after the one. But a lot of Christians have built in their entire identities around staying safe with the 99. Safe theology, safe politics, safe doctrine, safe people, safe churches, safe opinions, safe distance from anybody messy, hurting, questioning, deconstructing, grieving, doubting, unraveling, addicted, queer, estranged, traumatized, all the things, divorced, angry, or, just someone who's just inconvenient. And we've learned to just call that faithfulness. But hell no, that is not faithfulness. That is like fear with some sort of worship soundtrack in the background. And let me put it like this. A lot of us have gotten really good at admiring Jesus while having absolutely no intention of following him. And those are not the same thing. We can sing, post about it, cry during worship, get the tattoos, put the Bible verse in our bios, say God is good 17 times before lunch, and still not follow him. Because following Jesus will drag you straight out of your comfort zone and into places respectable religion does not want to go. Following Jesus will make you sit with people your theology professor warned you about. Following Jesus will make you love people your church taught you to label. Following will make you rethink things you were told to never question. Will take you straight to the margins, the edges, and if you're not careful, you might start realizing that the margins are where the holy stuff, the sacred stuff has been happening the whole time. That's the thing, honestly, I cannot shake. The church keeps acting like the center is where Jesus lives. Big stages, the big names, the money, the book deals, the certainty, the power, the polished performances. Meanwhile, I feel like Jesus is saying, yeah, okay, guys, that's cool, but I'll be outside the gates with the forgotten people. If you want to find the divine, don't look where power is protected. Look where love is still reaching. That's where he is. He's with the ones who feel abandoned. He's with the one who can't make sense of God anymore. He's with the one who had to walk away from toxic religion just to survive. He's with the ones sitting in their car after church wondering why they still feel alone in a room full of believers. Yeah, he's with those that, he's with the ones who's not okay, but not really good at pretending. That's where Jesus goes. If we're serious about following him, that's where we'll go to. And let me say something controversial. Some people did not leave church because they wanted to quote unquote sin. Some people left because they were being handled in the name of God. And the way they were being handled looked nothing like the divine. They weren't rejecting love, they were rejecting manipulation, shame, spiritual control. They were rejecting the version of God that always suspiciously sounded like the loudest, angriest, most insecure person in the room. And honestly, good for them, good on them, because sometimes leaving the thing that is killing your soul is the first holy step toward actually finding God again. The church loves to call that rebellion. The sheep and goats thing. But maybe sometimes rebellion is just refusing to keep calling those abusive situations discipleship. Maybe sometimes rebellion is sacred. Maybe sometimes the most faithful thing a person can do is say, I know what you've taught me, and I know what you taught me that God is like, and if that's true, I need out. And on the other side of that wreckage, trust me, if you're listening to this and in deconstruction, you will begin to discover that maybe God was never the monster that you were introduced to in the first place. Here's another problem. The churches, modern church is obsessed with protecting tradition, even when tradition is producing rotten fruit. We'll camp on bad theology for generations, because grandpa believed it. We'll repeat harmful nonsense because it's familiar. We'll defend systems that crush people because changing our minds feels too humiliating. And rather than admit, hey, maybe we got some things wrong, we doubled down. How often does this happen? That's not conviction. Jesus is always moving forward and always moving outward, towards the wounded, towards the excluded, towards the ones religion rolled its eyes at, towards the people everyone else had already given up on. So anytime somebody hands you a gospel, a theology that keeps asking, why would you want anything to do with that person? That is not the gospel. I don't care how many Bible verses they staple to it. I don't care how much fear is attached to it. Protect our children. They're taking over our society, taking our jobs, whatever it might be today, or how polished a sermon is, how many followers they have, how orthodox they say that they are. If your version of faith cannot move towards people in pain, it is not Jesus. It's just some sort of religious performance art. Let's get really real, because that's what we do on this podcast, right? Love pays attention. Love notices when somebody's missing. Love notices when somebody goes quiet. Love notices when a smile looks fake. True love notices when the I'm fine, I'm good feels like a lie. Love doesn't celebrate the crowd and ignore the ache, but love moves towards pain. And most of us do the opposite. We avoid pain. We mute pain. We spiritualize it, quote verses at it, tell pain to pray harder, to calm down, to not be so negative. We tell pain it's making everybody uncomfortable. Yeah, well, no kidding. It's uncomfortable. It's pain. But if your faith only works around, emotional convenience, then it does not work very well. And can I say something to those of you that are out there? A community cannot care for pain if it's not allowed to see it. This part matters too. Some of us want people to magically know that we're drowning. And when nobody shows up, we decide nobody cared. That's not good either. That's not fair either. If we want this real community, we have to tell the truth. We have to say, I'm not okay. I need help. I feel alone. I'm pissed at God. I'm depressed. I'm unraveling. I need someone to sit with me. It's not weakness. It's honesty. And honesty is where healing can begin. Healing is communal. It takes people and presence, awkward conversations, uncomfortable truths, somebody caring enough to say, hey, where have you been? Or somebody responding with, honestly, I haven't been okay. That's community. That's what church should be, or at least we hope it can be. And I love this idea. Just go with me here. Disconnection is an illusion that love refuses to believe in. We act like disconnection is permanent. Like when somebody wanders off, questions too much, screws up too badly, or publicly gets too angry, whatever it might be, weird, then that's it. We write them off, turn them over, call them compromised, call them bitter, call them deceived, backslidden. Most of you listening to this have probably been there. But love says, I don't buy that. Love says connection is still possible. We don't have to agree on everything. The story isn't over. I'm still going to make room. I still see you. Or get your ass home, because there's still a seat for you at the table. That's the gospel. Maybe the church's biggest problem is this. We've treated the margins like a side mission. But think about how Jesus treated them, like it was the center of his world. The woman at the well, the leper, the woman with the issue of blood, bleeding woman, Samaritan outsider, the one everyone was being judged or was whispering about or being judged or being silenced, the ones that everyone thought were too far gone. That was where Jesus built his ministry and life. So why are we still building freaking churches that make us, those people, those same people feel like a problem to manage instead of a person to love. That should really make us angry and bother us more than it does. And I'll end here. Some people are not lost. They're waiting to find out whether love is still waiting for them if they return. That's it. That's the question, right? Not are they right? Do they agree with us? Do they believe all the correct things? Have they cleaned themselves up? All the crap that we put on people. The question is when they look back towards us, towards the community that is supposed to be there in the toughest time of their life, the church. When they look back towards us, will love still be there? Will love still be waiting and making room and moving towards them and calling them by name? Will love still throw a party when they come home? Because if the answer is no, then whatever the heck we've built, it might be religion, it might be tradition, it might even be ideology, it might be tribalism or whatever, but it is not Jesus. Hey, we'll see you next time. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. And if you'd like to support our nonprofit, you can go to harvestsarasota.com and click the Give tab. One of the greatest ways you can tell us this podcast helped you is by liking, subscribing, reviewing, and sharing with your friends. Till next time, keep asking questions, be patient with yourself, and find someone to show some love this week.